Recording? Okay. So, let's get down to it. This is, I believe, this is part 3. I think this is part 3. We're going to discuss the pyeloplasty, which was the surgery to remove the obstruction on my ureter that's connected to the kidney. It was excruciating pain. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you can go back and watch the hysterectomy video. I explain there where there's not only stitches from the abdomen, there's stitches on the inside. Your lady bits is stitched up so that the organs are now playing on top of the motherfucking stitches. So standing up and moving was painful. And in the midst of healing from the total hysterectomy, I had already had scheduled to see a kidney surgeon, or I'm sorry, a urologist, so a urosurgeon. I was recommended to New Jersey, so we had to drive out of state because where we currently live, the doctors are just leaving. There's a shortage. There used to be a lot more urosurgeons here, but they're leaving. So I got recommended out and we met with him. We went down the list of how long I've been experiencing symptoms. I was always told that my issues were a woman problem, that, you know, welcome to womanhood. Your UTIs are pretty much your problem, like you're doing this to yourself. And it wasn't until I got these tests done and they got to see that my kidney was actually in trouble, and it's supposed to empty quickly. And mine went from eliminating the urine first in 4 minutes, and then in 5 months, it turned into 12 minutes. It was eliminating in 12 minutes. The further along you go, the more dangerous you are to actually having kidney disease. By the time that you get to 20 minutes, I think that's where they diagnose you. Again, I'm not a doctor. I think from what I recall, that's the numbers. So I went from 4 minutes to 12 minutes in a span of 5 months, but I was already experiencing issues for almost 2 decades. A lot of UTIs in this time span. It could have been caught. We could have had a stent put in years ago to avoid this type of surgery, but now we're in a position where we're seeing it kind of tick. It was his recommendation that we just get in there, since I've been dealing with symptoms for 2 decades. So I'm listening to my urosurgeon say, we need to get in there. And I'm 4 weeks post hysterectomy. So I'm still in pain while listening to him tell me we need to prepare for the next surgery. Which I walked in already mentally and emotionally preparing for that to be the answer, but also in the back of your head, you're still hopeful that they can be like, we got this. Like, we're just going to go in and we're going to stick this, that, and the third, and you'll be in tip-top shape. There's still this hope that this won't be me. So for him to say, yep, we're going to go in, and I'm staring at him, and he's like, but I'm not going to do that right now. And I'm like, okay, okay. He was like, but I would like to get in there by the time you're 8 weeks post hysterectomy. And that's when I can kind of feel like the cry ball come into my throat, because I don't want to do that. So I get into the car and I cry and I tell David, I can't, like, I know that it's going in the wrong direction. Like, I know it's happening, but I also am getting mentally messed with right now, where this is such excruciating pain to even remotely have to go lay back down on the table and for them to go back into the abdomen. I can't process it. So he's like, all right, so when do you think? I was like, let me call the scheduler and let me see what we can do. So I called the scheduler and she's like, how's 8 weeks? Absolutely not. She goes, all right, 9, no. She's like, all right, Veronica, how do you feel about 12? We need to get you in there. Okay, let's do 12. At least it's gonna give me some time to feel like a normal person before I transition to the next surgery. Now, mind you, when I say abdominally, I mean that they're laparoscopically going to go in, but they're going to go in my abdomen, okay? So we schedule it. I can honestly say by the time that I was confidently walking with power and strength was 2 weeks before the surgery. So it took me 10 weeks to finally feel some sort of normalcy come back. This is what I mean by saying to women, do not put pressure on yourself to feel as though because somebody else is able to get up quickly that you have to do the exact same thing. Everyone heals completely different. And I want to emphasize that. I need you to honor your pain. I don't give a shit. Don't give a shit about what anybody else has gone through, has recovered from, or is telling you how you need to recover quicker. You need to honor your symptoms, your pain, your way. It took me 10 weeks to confidently walk. Not to power lift, not to do yoga, not to, sprint, to walk. The basic foundation of getting from point A to point B, to confidently do it, it took me 10 weeks. And in those 2 weeks, I cried such tears of joy because I knew that this felt so good and that it wouldn't last very long before I would be right back in my recliner. So we get to the surgery day. We drive all the way there. They highlighted the wrong address, so we went to the wrong hospital because they highlighted the wrong one. I digress. We are rushing to get to the right one. We get there all but 15 minutes late. I'm profusely apologetic, but you guys messed up. You guys highlighted that. Anyway, I get in. They set me up quickly. I get everything put in. I'm explaining to them my symptoms. I'm explaining to them my last surgery where my breathing was shallow. I need you guys to know that my breathing was shallow. Don't put too much medicine in me because I will not be able to breathe. Like I won't be able to do it. And they're like, we got you. We're right here. Okay. So they're wheeling me out and I just get emotional. I get emotional. They don't know my story. They don't know everything that transpired. They don't know the past. All they know is that I'm crying going into this laparoscopic surgery. So the nurses are like, it's okay, Miss Valentine. This is a simple procedure. We have done way, way worse. You are okay. And I'm like, I don't give a shit. I don't give a damn. You don't know where I came from. They don't know that I'm still recovering, technically, from a total hysterectomy. They just know that I'm emotional. I'm emotional because, bitch, I know this one's going to take me out. I wake up. I can't find my husband, and I'm asking over and over and over for him. He finally comes. And he's with me. And I'm just trying to take this moment in, and I'm kind of zonked out, but I can feel the pain. And because I requested, I said, make sure you watch my medicine because I won't be able to breathe correctly. They listened to that. And when I tell you, when I woke up, it was a lot more pain than that of the hysterectomy. That I felt it. About an hour had surpassed, and they were asking if I felt comfortable enough to be able to stand and go to the bathroom to see if I could. And I said, I'll try. So I'm standing up, and the pain, at this time, I'm holding the back of the nurse's neck. I don't give a shit who you are. If I go down, we're both going down. Like, I'm not trying. I'm not trying. I don't give a damn. This is surgery number 3. I don't have it in me to pretend like I got it. Like I tell all the women that I love, Wonder Woman bleeds too. And I needed to honor the fact that, yeah, I'm Wonder Woman, but I'm bleeding. She and my husband walked me to the bathroom and I'm just crying. I get on top of the toilet, and when I tell you the burn. I burned after the hysterectomy, but this is straight kidney. So this was such fire coming out of me. And the pain was so excruciating that I'm now starting to feel waves of nausea. And I'm looking at my husband. I'm still doped up. I'm burning like a motherfucker. My stomach is stitched up hot like a red hot chili pepper. I'm gonna vomit. It's gonna happen. So they grabbed me the little puke container, and I'm just, out of all 3 surgeries, this is the first one that I vomited out of pain. After this type of surgery, you will pee blood. Like, it's just obviously that they're in there, they're cutting. You will pee blood, and it was there. It was there. I get back to my bed. I'm laying in there. The nurse was so fantastic. Like, the whole squad was just so fantastic. I have had people who were just really rude. I don't know what this team was so compassionate, understanding, and patient. And if you're a nurse and you're one of these people, I know you're tired. I know you're tired. And I know you see these types of patients who are going through this back to back to back to back. But if you're not desensitized to it and you're still able to show compassion, you have no idea how monumentous you are to that person who's recovering. I get emotional sometimes when I sit back and think about it, because I still remember these people and how much love they have in their job, and it makes a difference. So I'm recovering, rotating shifts, medicine. I need to stand up. I need to walk. I have my compression instruments that they put on me just to make sure I don't have any blood clots. It is painful, but I do it. My husband was teasing me. He was like, hey, there's like a senior citizen. He's making laps, babe. He's making laps. We can't let him win. I'm like, well, we can't let that old man win. we gotta get this charged, David. I can't let this mofo win. So it was good to be able to be in good spirits, but it hurt. I get home. We travel home the next day. I was given an overnight stay because I lived in a different state. And I get home and I'm starting to notice day by day something happened with my surgical site. It starts to get red and it starts to spread. It goes from like the thickness of like my pinky to the thickness of my thumb to the thickness of like my 3 fingers to my whole palm. It's going. And again, like my previous videos, when I was explaining to you what they tell you to look for when you're home, one of the things that they were telling us was, if things get red, if things start to spread, and the site gets hot, you gotta go to the ER. So I'm sitting there going, am I gonna have to go back to the fucking ER? Guy, I don't wanna go, I don't wanna go, I don't wanna go. It was so bad that when I sent the picture to my urologist as well as my PCP, they were like, you need to go. This could very well be sepsis or an infection of sorts that could lead you to sepsis. You should go. I get to the hospital. They test me to make sure that I'm not in sepsis. I'm not in sepsis. They don't know exactly what it is, so they send me back to the waiting room. Because it's not sepsis and they don't know what it is, they sent me back to the waiting room. And I was in the waiting room for 12 hours. And I'm just rotating the hospital's ice packs that they have every hour, taking the ice pack and putting it on, because the ice pack was the only thing that could help minimize the burn, because it was so hot. By the 12th hour, I finally get called. I'm exhausted by this point. Mind you, I think this is day 5 of my recovery. I haven't been home for a week. This is day 5. Mind you, I was in the hospital the first day, so technically I've been home for about 4 days. I finally get in to a room. I lay down. I kid you not. The doctor comes in. She's like, I'm really sorry. I'm the only doctor on call all night. That's why it's taking forever. And I'm like, hot damn. Like, again, the shortages of doctors is just bad. So I'm like, I got you. I mean, it still sucks for me, but it also fucking sucks for you. She checks it and she says, yeah, this is contact dermatitis. It's a very aggressive, severe contact dermatitis, which is a really bad allergic reaction that I was having to the Dermabond. There is a glue that they put on your skin instead of the stitches where they, it's a glue that just closes everything. My skin apparently was like, fuck you. It blistered. It was disgusting. I have photos for myself, but I'm not going to share them with you because it was bad. I care about you too much. I'm not going to do that to you, girl. It was bad. It was so grotesque. And that's what was making me terrified. I didn't know what was happening. It just kept spreading. So she gave me medicine. She told me what to look for. She was going to send me out to the pharmacy to get the rest of it. 45 minutes. She came in, saw me, diagnosed me, gave me the medicine. 45 minutes. I was there for 12 hours. Thankful it's not sepsis, but it was such a severe allergic reaction that it not only went out to the palm of my hand, that's where it was by the time that I was at the hospital, it continued to spread throughout the remaining days leading into a month, okay, to my stomach, under my breasts, over my breasts, on my chest. Holy crap, that was the water in my sink. That scared the shit out of me. Okay, anyway, so it went all over my chest. It wrapped around my back. When I tell you that when I would be in the shower, I would need my husband to put on the exfoliant gloves and scrub the crap out of me because it was burning and itching so bad. I couldn't think straight. It was so bright red and just, it trickled all the way up. The only thing besides the medicine that could calm it down, and I'm not over exaggerating, and I'm not asking for you to do this if you have this. This is just something that I had to do because it's probably not something that you should be doing, but I didn't give a damn. I was losing my mind. The ice packs that you put in your lunchbox, the brick ones, like the square brick solid ones. Put that in a Ziploc bag and I laid it right on it. I laid it right on it until it melted, and then I rotated a new one because it was the only thing that calmed it down. It was so bright red. So thankful I wasn't dying. That's a good thing. Also, I can't think straight. I couldn't even watch TV because it was just so bad. And it was that way till the end of the month. By the end of the month, the allergic reaction calmed. By the end of the month, I was able to slowly regain confidence in walking again. By the end of the walk, I was able to have some sort of autonomy. But I wasn't fully within my power until I would say August. The surgery was the last day of May, and by like the first week of August, I was like, okay, I think I got this. That's not to say there weren't still symptoms. It's October right now, and I'm still recuperating from all my surgeries. But as far as the autonomy, I would say, yeah, that was about August. What I didn't tell you was they sent me home with a stent that's forever in you until you complete your healing, and then they pull it out. The stent went from my kidney all the way down into my bladder. So when I would talk about my stent with certain people, they'd be like, but you're not supposed to feel that. Some people don't. Some people feel it with every step. And unfortunately, I was one of those people who felt it with every single step. So when I say that I had confidence within my autonomy and the way that I walked, that's within my abdomen. Within my abdomen. But inside, all the way inside, every step I took, it was just rub, 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 rub. That's what the stent was doing. So it was, again, sometimes with stents, if you're gonna urinate, you're gonna see blood. And I saw blood. Consistent water. Consistent water. Again, a lot of people don't have these symptoms, and I'm not trying to scare anybody into thinking like that's exactly what's going to happen to you. I've seen a lot of people who were like, I had a stent, I didn't feel nothing, everything was great, and then I went to my appointment and they pulled it out, nothing. Not me. I felt it. What you mean you was walking? You couldn't? Really? What's that like? So after I healed, and they took out the stent. The stent hurt like a bitch when they pulled that shit out. They Novocaine you. They put a little Novocaine, you know. So the Novocaine was good. I was like, oh, okay, I got this. I can do this. And then they went in. they were like, do. And I felt the do. I felt it. And as soon as they pinched it and they started to pull, that's how I was like, oh, but it was like maybe a minute. So it was very intense, but it was done quickly. And I appreciated that. I have a follow-up test in January to make sure that my kidney function is good and that it's better and that it's not going in the direction of kidney disease. That's January. There's a lot of follow-ups for all different types of things that I'm currently going through, but that's a different video. I want to emphasize this, and I know I've already repeated it, and I probably said it a plethora of times in the other videos. I need you to honor your pain. You're going to see a lot of people on here who are not going to experience what I've experienced, and that's the goal. If you're one of those people, that's the motherfucking goal, to be able to get through these things without having to experience excruciating pain. But if you are one of those people like myself, I need you to honor it. Don't shit on yourself simply because it's going to take you a lot longer. Again, this is October. 2024. My last surgery was May 2024. This all began last October. And when I tell you I'm still recovering, I mean it. And that's okay. It's more than okay. It's quite beautiful. And I know not a lot of people would like to be able to agree with that, and that's fine. I'm only speaking my truth. Sometimes adversity allows you the space to be able to understand that this is beautiful. Growth is hard and it's challenging, but it is beautiful. I am no longer the woman I once was before any of these surgeries happened. I'm not that girl anymore. And quite honestly, I'm not the girl I was before my father passed away. My dad died, and all these things started popping up. Like I said, there's a whole lot more, but I'm not going to get into it in this video. I need you to hear me when I say to honor your pain, because it is the truth. Do not pretend it away. Do not sugarcoat that shit. It is what it is, but it will not be forever. It's just gonna feel like it at the time. I'm telling you right now, that I'm staring at it right now, that fucking recliner. I was sitting in that shit for a year. And I lost a lot of muscle mass, and I gained weight, and I doubted myself, and I cried a lot, but I sat in that chair, and every day, even though I honored my pain and I felt the bullshit, the reality of what it was, I always had to remind myself, what is one good thing that happened today? What is one good thing that happened today? And I would force myself to figure it out, because there is one good thing that happens in your life every single day. If you find it, you'll see it. There's a lot of people who are going through what I went through who don't have a home. And I have a home. There's a lot of people who go through what I went through who don't have family and friends. I have family and friends. It's not a big football team, but I have them. It may feel like my body's on fire, because it is. But did I eat that day? Yes. I had to find something every single day that went right. So as much as that recliner sometimes pisses me off, sometimes I know I gotta get back in there, to this day, I honor that motherfucking recliner, because that recliner taught me what it was to humble thyself, that in the midst of your pain, there is still something good that can happen. I'm sitting in a recliner, am I not? This shit is pissing me off, but it's a real comfortable chair, is it not? That's a good thing. Anyway, that's my pyeloplasty story. That's my pyeloplasty story. Hopefully I don't have any more surgeries, because that's a shit show. Like I said, there's a whole lot more happening and a lot more to discover and a whole lot more to unravel. I'm rambling. Thanks for sticking around. You got this. Until the next video.